Hello and welcome to the Hubfizz show, where you can get ideas to help you grow your eco-conscious business. And today I'm joined by Emma Wainer from Speaking at Work, and we are talking about using your voice to raise your visibility and impact. So welcome, Emma. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Karen. I'm really excited to be here.
Excellent. So Emma helps women with vision and ambition raise their visibility and credibility by amplifying their ability to be heard and influence with grace, so they become known as an impactful leader. So some great stuff there. So we'll launch straight into the questions. So for those that struggle with public speaking, what are your top tips to overcome that?
Okay, well, I guess the first thing to say is you're not alone. There's about 72% of the population who hate speaking in public. And if you think about it, every time we stand up to speak, and that could be on Zoom or in real life, we're the only person facing the other way. Everyone else is looking over there.
Yeah.
You know, your mammalian brain, the oldest bit of your brain is going, you've separated yourself from the herd, you're going to get eaten, your lunch, this is it, and essentially that bit of our brain is like an outdated operating system. It's still working on old data. It doesn't realize we're not really in threat anymore. So what happens when that state occurs is we have this flood of hormones that come into our system that lead us into that flight, fight or freeze response. So what we need to do is kind of help the body just feel like it's all right, everything is okay, you're not going to get eaten. And there's three things that you can do to really help that. So the first one is breathe. And most of you will be thinking, okay, we'll take a nice deep breath in, because that's what everybody says, isn't it? Take a deep breath in. But I want you to imagine a balloon that's actually filled with air, and you're just about to blow more air into it. What's going to happen? It's going to burst.
Pop, yeah.
So we don't want that sense of we're going to increase the tension. We actually want to let go of some of that tension. So we have to breathe out. So if in doubt, breathe out. So we can just, let all the air out. Then you have a little moment where you need to relax. And then the body will call for air, and you'll bring air in more naturally and lower down into the body, which is better, because that means your voice will sound nicer. So the second thing we need to do is ground. And essentially that just means have your feet on the floor. So that's if you're standing up. It also counts if you're sitting down. So feet on the floor, and then you want your bum on the chair. So we don't want our backs leaning against the back of the chair, because now all my breathing apparatus is squashed and I can't breathe well. So you want to be sitting in a nice sort of upright but not stiff position. So feet on the floor, bum on the chair. And then the final thing you can do is just connect to something that's bigger than you. Often people get really stressed about everybody looking at them, but your message is really about your customers or your clients or the other person in the room. So really focus on the value that you're bringing. And then that takes away the, they're all looking at me. And if you do all of those things, so if you breathe deeply, if you ground your feet, and if you connect to the sort of bigger message, you're almost certainly going to be using your authentic voice.
Oh, that's fantastic. As you were doing that, I was going through all the motions as well. So breathing out, so putting my feet on the ground. That's fantastic. And so I know you do a lot with women in leadership as well, which is fantastic. So what hurdles do women have to face in leadership, and how can that be overcome?
There's a lot, so I'm going to have to really be brief. So essentially there's a whole lot of research that's just come out to say that women get about 2/3 of the airtime of their male colleagues, and 70% of the things that they say will receive a negative comment or just be ignored. Now those are problems in and of itself, but there's a bigger problem in that your perceived authority within your organization or within your community is bound up with your airtime. So the more airtime, the more you're perceived as an authority figure. So that means when promotions come up, when tasks are assigned, if you're not someone who has lots of airtime, you're less likely to be given those opportunities. So look, it's a systemic issue, and that's going to take a long time to change. It's like a glacier, it moves really slowly. But there's things that we can do to change our climate around us. And there's 4 things that we can really, really focus on. And the first one is about our expertise authority. So that's about owning our own expertise. And I was talking to a client just before we started actually, and she has 20 years experience in this incredible field. And as she's talking about the experience, she's pulling away from the camera. So we really have to start to own that we are an expert in our field. And then the second area is about connection authority. Women are amazing at building connections across industries, through the industry. They are really good at it. What we're really bad at is leveraging those relationships. So we don't go to people and say, I really want that next promotion, or I really want to be on that task force. Who do I need to speak to? Can you introduce me to? We don't like to do that. We like to think that our good work speaks for ourselves. I'm really sorry it doesn't. So we have to start learning to leverage them in a really positive relationship, not about manipulating, but positively leveraging those relationships. And then the next one is about our presence authority. So our personal authority. So all the things I spoke about, you know, breathing deeply, having a voice that sounds authoritative, having a nice still body, but being able to express ourselves with enthusiasm and energy, and being able to respond to the room is really, really important. So we can start to leverage that, literally just putting our feet on the floor and believing in who we are. Then all of those three actually feed into the fourth one, which is positional authority. So the more we can do those first three, the more likely we are to be able to progress in our career. And then we're on the boards where we can start making those decisions for women who are coming up behind us, and just making it a whole lot easier for them to be credible and visible within the organisation. So those are the four areas that we can really work on.
That's fantastic. Oh, some brilliant advice there. And you spoke about having an authentic voice. You know, why does that matter?
Well, first of all, the authentic voice is when you've got that mind and body aligned. So like I said, that lady earlier, she wasn't believing that she was an expert, even though she's got 20 years and she's the only woman in her field who does this. She's definitively the expert. So, it's about her starting to believe that, because her body was betraying her. So because she moved away from this idea of being the expert. So we really need to align the mind and the body to really embrace our authentic voice. And when you do, you find that you and your audience really become the most comfortable. And then that means your message has the greatest chance of landing.
Yeah, because I think, as you know, if you're really comfortable and the audience is comfortable, it's just going to feel like a much more natural exchange, isn't it? Absolutely. And it's just going to flow. Yeah.
And you move along that know, like, trust pathway, which is obviously what we want people to do, whether it's a commercial relationship or a business relationship, or you're part of the team. We want to move along that pathway. So if we're not sounding authentic, it's much harder to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it's such great tips there. So I want to know, we ask this of every guest, is what is your top eco lifestyle or business tip?
Okay, well, I've got two, and this is going to really give you an insight into my character. They're both about food.
Okay.
So my kids absolutely love chocolate. I'm allergic to it. I can't eat it, but my kids love it. And so we've discovered Tony's Chocolonely. So it's the only chocolate that is slavery free. And before it came out, I have to admit, I didn't even know slavery was still involved in chocolate production. So it's amazing that we can now buy that. So I would definitely recommend that. The kids literally hoover it up. And then the second one is that we get a food delivery service. So each week I choose 4 meals and we get it delivered. And I have really noticed that our food waste is cut down so massively because we're only buying exactly what we need. So I really like that. I know it's a little bit complicated because there is some plastic involved, but I was thinking the other day, actually, if I bought the same things in the supermarket, there probably would be even more. And they're trying really hard to reduce the amount of cardboard that the plastic that they're using. So even the fresh produce now comes in like a cardboard chiller, which I think is amazing.
Brilliant. Oh, such great tips. Thank you for that. I think that's fantastic. And I know you've got an offer as well, and we were just sort of chatting about your new sort of course coming up as well. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yep, so I have a speaker credibility tool. So if you're interested in finding out how credible your voice is already, and you'd like to know a little bit more about what you can do to make that even better, you can use this free tool. So I think you're going to have a link in the connections, but really all you need to do is send me a video, and then I will do a review and send you back the video and a report.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. And I know as well you've got a course coming up for women. So I know we're sort of coming near to the end of the time now, but we can share the links with people. And maybe after the show, people have got questions and comments, if you can put some more information about what that is and when that's going to come up. I think you said in about 2 to 3 weeks, you've got a course launching.
Launches in about 3 weeks' time, and it's influential leadership for women. So again, it's about how to raise your credibility within your company.
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Oh, we have come to the end of the time now. So thank you so much for joining us, Emma. And people can find you at speakingatwork.co.uk.
Yep, or on LinkedIn.
Oh, on LinkedIn. Brilliant. I'll post the links in. So thank you so much for joining us. Real pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's been really fun.
Oh, thank you. And to our viewers, thanks for watching. If you're catching the replay as well, please keep your questions and comments coming, and we'll get to those later. And we will see you all same time next week at 11. Cheers for now.
Bye.